it's not supposed to budge anytime soon. The good news, the folks don't seem to mind here in Chicago. Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Cousins looking to put it up right away. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The long-time vet, Jamie Collins, the man to bring him down.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on first down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. Fields now to throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line. He provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. And the defense, Charles, they bit a little bit, but they did not break. And then on 3rd and goal there, the huge interception.
Think of the momentum they're carrying with them right now, Brandon, because in their mind, whether they want to admit it or not, they were conceding 3 points. Their goal was to keep them at the end zone, not give up a touchdown. Instead, they give up nothing. What a big-time play and a big-time stop by them.
And that's complete to K.J. Osborne. And they're able to get this one across the 35. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards from all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. And his throw here is incomplete. These two teams, you may remember, they met in Minnesota earlier in the year with the Vikings coming out victorious. So they're looking for the series sweep here in Chicago. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Cousins to throw it. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Bears are going to take over at their own 41.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his 2nd interception.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. Complete to Mooney on the swing. And he coughed it up. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And they put it on the ground here on the second drive. And, of course, Charles, that follows drive number 1 where they had the INT.
Makes you wonder what's going on with this team because a lot of times we can attribute it to nerves, but maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe it is the preparation for the game. Maybe they just came into a little lackadaisical because that's just not looking good at all. That's just not the football that we came here to see.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for second down. Here's Cook again. And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient at picking up third downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I guarantee you it started in the offseason. Third down's important to them. They find a way to pick them up at a very good clip.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Cousins now. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Well, the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
The offense schemed, going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
3rd and long for Cousins. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Zadarius Smith able to get him down.
I think what we just saw there, partner, was linebacking speed that can trump O-line power. We see that at times because he filled the gap before the offensive lineman could get to the next level and take him on.
And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings 37. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, Fields. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We sort of suspected that the elements might wreak havoc on both of these offenses, and that's been the case. No points on either side as this drive begins. He's got a man complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
As we've seen over the years, offense coordinators will often ease their way into drives. Many of them don't want to risk a turnover or put their defense in a bad spot, but not in this case.
Not at all. Forget about easing into it. They took a shot. It worked. We're scoreless after one. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Play fake. Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And the Bears are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. There's 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Fields off the bootleg. That one complete to... Now the ball comes loose. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about this training camp.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out. But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Now it's Fields. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And now he got away from that first tackler. No idea, but he did, and it winds up with positive yardage.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. To throw is Cousins. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
On third down, Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot, force the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that you can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with good field position is facing fourth down.
And this has no chance. It's no good, well wide to the left, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Still searching for that first breakthrough, and I thought this might be it. But it's not to be, and we're still scoreless.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And given the elements, this might have been what we would have expected, Charles. Scoreless into the second quarter.
The elements have definitely played a part in this game, a big part. And I think that both teams have been a little slow to adjust their playbook and start playing to whatever their strengths are in these conditions.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's got room. And all the way down to the 40-yard line. 72 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. He was over 100 yards a week ago, and he's well on his way once again.
Say it with me, partner. Encore, encore. This guy's headed towards getting it done one more time.
They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
The Bears at 4-12 now on the year. And whatever promise they had to start the season fully evaporated now as they come in losers of 6 straight.
Well, you know what they often say, winning breeds winning. But unfortunately, the flip side of that can be true as well because this is a club in desperate need of a spark out of somewhere. A big play on offense, turnover, takeaway on defense, something to get them pointed in the right direction. They need it quickly. And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open, just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. N'Keal Harry, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bears post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this second quarter. They always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. From the 6. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They run it again with Cook. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Cousins gives way to Cook. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And that will get out of bounds. Lucky there. They keep possession inside the 5. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
Now Cousins. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they've got a little over 40 seconds to work with if they want to try to put something together. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And the defense obviously expecting run as well as they're going to shut that one down at the line of scrimmage. He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
They sure did. And remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
And he will force his way forward for a yard or two, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Oh, it's a wobbler here. And a fair catch is called for. He will take it in to give his guys some excellent field position here. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Cousins on first down. It's caught on the right side at Smith. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. They're going for a receiver there. Already has one touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And it'll be intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Boy, they get him yet again, Charles. 5 interceptions in this game. You rarely see this, maybe a couple of times in a season, but this defense, they've been fantastic.
It's certainly an example of watching a defense that is in the zone, right? We use that term so often, but most of the time.
Fields is intercepted for a third time. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The lake effect snow set to continue for the second half of action as we are back underway from the 6. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Well, the first half, very even. I mean, really, in all facets, this ball game tied, Charles. So as we start the third quarter, curious to see what the second half brings us.
Certainly am. I'm with you on that one. And we all know a lot of coaches from the NFL all the way down to the Pee Wee level. They love to spin it to their teams. Hey, we're starting a brand new, shorter ball game. It's all even. Let's go out and seize it. This is ours.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Fields. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Fields firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be brought down at the 27. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games. And we're seeing a pretty good one right now. Hotly contested in the 3rd quarter. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And he's got Mooney in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Darnell Mooney, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Bears have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
After the sack on first down, Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Here's Cousins. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A real letdown defensively. That was third and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Cook on the first down carry there as he works his way forward for a gain of about 4.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
I think this running game, or should I say lack of one, is making this defense look better than what they really are.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Complete. Smith has it. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
And my goodness, another interception. And the Bears are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From his own end zone, Fields. Caught here by Griffin. Oh, look at the juke. And all the way to the 25 before he's hit and dropped. It's a gain of 22 as we tick towards 2:22 on the clock. fires this quickly to Tate. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The Bears on the move. They've got another first down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide. And these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
He's going to let one fly for Tate. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Chicago. Auden Tate, 56 yards. And the Bears will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the third. Fields trying to throw for it. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. And the formula there on the two-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this. He's got a man, complete! And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver, and as this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Toward the sideline, and that is a nice catch as he's able to tiptoe his way out of bounds. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. Looking to throw again on second down. Cousins. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. The Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Cousins steps away to his left. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short, so that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
44 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Cook will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know that sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Their lead back down to one score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Danielle Hunter coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead. Thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Here's Fields. And this one is incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And he fires one, but incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
And now the kick short, but this is a live football picked up in the end zone. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And still just down one score. We'll see how big of a role that missed field goal plays because it, of course, could have pushed this to a 2-possession deficit for them. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Play action now. Cousins. Smith brings it in, going across the middle. And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it. So it's not.
Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I think we put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender. But you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Throwing. Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been, They didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. And now this defense trying to use the clock to their advantage. They'll take the timeout here with 2:08 left. And then they'll have another stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. The offense on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. Cousins to throw. And that's intercepted yet again. And that could be the backbreaker. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears have just about sewn up this football game. Just when you thought this game might be turned on its ear, a late interception pretty much going to seal the deal.
Yeah, boy, talk about having your backs to the wall. This defense, they look like they were in danger of surrendering this lead, but they knew they needed that one play, and they got it right there, partner.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
All eyes on Fields. He's going to rifle one deep left side. He's got a man complete. Well, that'll help get you out of danger. So much for playing it conservatively back towards your own goal line.
That aggressive mentality, sometimes you can use it, and they did there against the defense who probably thought to themselves, there's no way they take a shot here this deep in their own territory.
The win for the Bears just around the corner. They go down to a knee. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow, and for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did